Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and all of the beautiful spectrum in between. Welcome to Bingathon, or welcome back to Bingathon if you were still watching the previous match. My name is Elias, and I'm joined here by Deathline.
Hello, I'm still here, still commentating.
Welcome back, Dio. Now, we will be watching game one of gamestabled versus Breadghost for the Division 3 semifinals, if I'm correct, right?
Yep, seed
Right.
2 and 4, I believe.
All right, so one of them was picked by the other. I think Game picked Breadghost, if that should be correct. And the first match is going to be a row control match. So, well, first to 9, technically speaking, but these 9 goals have to be precise, like 9 precise goals. So you have to control 3 rows. If you've been here for a while, you know what's going on. If not, we'll provide some explanations as we go on. Uh, so, DL, how much experience do you have with these players? Also, I don't think this is the bingo card that we deserve. um,
Yes, that card will get fixed. As far as
yes.
these players, Game has had a bit of a rough season, and has come down to Division 3. Has been a Division 2 player. To my knowledge, they hate road control, and they picked it game 1. And on the other end, we have Breadghost, who's uh, relatively new to the division in the league, working their way up to a pretty solid placing in Division 3. And to my knowledge, they also don't like row control because it's hard. So
Right.
got a row control match between two players who are not too fond of the format, which can lead to some interesting results.
Yeah, but I think both players don't have a lot of experience in row control. It is one of the more niche formats. That is, if you're a player that plays bingo a lot, you probably are advantaged in it compared to other players because, well, it is its own. It is kind of its own world, you know. Whereas draft is a bit more intuitive and easy to understand because it's just a simple variation of lockout where some goals are more prioritized. Row control introduces a very different shift in kind of the paradigm of the match. And I mean, I know Brad Ghost, fellow 602 legend. I know Game doesn't really dabble in too much of row control, prefers the standard stuff. So it makes sense that both of these players don't really like row control. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's gonna be a still pretty interesting match. Both of these players are not speedsters, but they're also not very slow, right? So gameplay could be the difference here. Um, and let's take a look at the rows. I'm pretty sure you're already scouring the card for any interesting things.
Yes, row 4 is pretty interesting. You got Radio Shooting 2 Worlds, which immediately gives you 4 out of Pinna, 4 from 3, Piano 3 Damageless, which is 3 out of there, and 6 Pipes. That set of 4 goals is really strong for row 4, and it can be a pretty big point of contention if you
Wait a
split it.
second. I'm seeing a different card.
Rejoin the room.
Yeah, I was just about to do that because
Um, Up in row 1, we got 6 from 2 worlds. Up in row 2, we got 5 from 2 levels. And those are pretty nice hand in hand, usually. You can't do Delfino, though, as a level, since it only counts as a world.
okay, now I have the correct card. Sorry for
Uh,
the small technical problem.
Aside from row 1, those 26 shines, 24 hidden, kind of gross. You do have 2 hidden Red Hoverless and 15 Bianco, which are pretty nice, easy, well, maybe not easy, but quick, relatively quick goals. 3 blue trades, 5 Bianco, all that fun stuff. 5 bluebirds, better of the bluebirds goals. Um,
Right, but just looking at the card, I don't see any stage being particularly super strong, right? There's nothing screams at you. You need to go here. I
Hundreds
think
and
there's
blues down in row 5.
I think there's an argument for Pianta as a start. I think there's an argument for
Yeah.
Bianco as a start.
I think I like Bianco into blue trades into Pianta, if you can get away with that. Because it sets you up for four shines from there, right? If you do like 2, 3, 3R, and 4, that gets you 4 out of 5 Bianco shines. You trade in, you go to do damage list if it isn't done already. Puts you, in a potentially nice spot to win 45. Potentially nice spot to win 20 from 2. Right, row 5 is kind of gross. You have Serena hundreds, Rico hundreds, 20 from 2, 45 totals, and 3 rockets, and you're kind of in pain as the player who wants that row potentially, and you don't win 45 totals.
Right, because obviously, right, you have a situation where Gelato has some merit here. You have the birds, you have the two hidden reds because of the
Yeah.
Gelato one being pretty good. You have the linked pairs, and there's 7 of them,
Yep.
so...
7 linked pairs. 70 totals, kind of weird, right? As long as row 3, you have 18 Serena, which is kind of gross, but still works into 20 from 2 and Serena 4 hidden shine.
Yeah, Serena not too
Can
bad here,
right?
I
You
would
can work
say.
with 4 from 3 and 6 pipes even. And then you also have 2 hidden shines, 1 level, no gelato, which works really nice with Serena 4 hidden as well as Rico hidden. Since the 6 shines in Rico are the fastest for 2H1L. And then, you have a few other goals that are spread around that are kind of whatever, 50 from 2, 70 totals, Sandbird slash Eel Blues. But personally, looking at this card, I think Pianta, Serena, and Bianco are all pretty good in their own right.
Yeah,
Um,
it's gonna be. I think this card is very open to interpretation, and it leaves a lot to be decided. Um, I think that a Pianta into Pinna, maybe into Serena, could work out. Um,
mhm.
but then again, I'm not sure if you end up having enough rows. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if you end up securing what you need to secure. For sure, there's also the cognitive 6 shines from 2 worlds, right? Because on this card it is kind of awkward, but also kind of smart. Because if you're playing Bianco, right? Let's assume you're playing Bianco for a second. You're
Mhm.
doing Bianco, then you need to get somewhere, right? You need to get to a level. If you want to do Serena, you need Yoshi, or you probably want Yoshi on this card if you want to do Serena.
Players are now off to the races. Both are gonna open up Bianco, so no Pianta start from either player. Yeah,
Right.
this
So
card's just kind of weird. It's like open, but it's not so open that you have like enough freedom to do everything that you want.
yeah, even Rico on this card, not too bad. So generally Rico's been fairly poor in the meta. So pretty
Breadghost getting
interesting.
jailable, game not getting jailable.
Now, historically, have these players met before? Let me check.
I don't believe they played this season. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Okay, because I mean, I do have some experience in playing gamestable from season 2. But let me see.
Yeah, this kind of just looks like a standard open Bianco kind of thing. Maybe jump in for 15 Bianca blues. Fred gonna stop, pick up at least the Delfino link here before jumping in, potentially. Which will set them a little bit behind to a potential 15 Bianca race. Game.
Yeah.
Oh, leaving? Pianta?
Yep.
Okay, so Bianca open into Pianta. Didn't want to hard commit it. That's not terrible either, right? Because then if Piano 3 damage list gets clicked when you're in Piano 2, you still have Pipes progress, and then you can still contest Bianco as needed.
Yeah, you're still doing some. I mean, I think the better option is still to commit, or maybe do something else, like you open Bianco and then you do with Delfino Shine, right? Like, but
Yeah.
but I don't dislike the idea in principle, right? You have Pianta fairly fast level, and with 6 from 2 worlds, I mean, it's gonna be would be really weird, but going Pianta 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 reds could actually work. Thing is, can you do? I mean,
I
can you
would
do?
do 6 instead, since it gives me access to 3 rockets.
Oh, that I mean, access to rockets could also work. But I was thinking maybe a 5 red solverless. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if it's doable here for either of these players. But um,
Yeah, Piano 5 R
I,
Powerless is kind of painful.
yeah, but you do realize the idea of 6 from 2 with Pianta as one of the 2 worlds where you get 6, which could be an option. Meanwhile, I have checked. The players have not played each other before. In the regular season, so everybody here is kind of new to each other, which could end up being a good or bad thing depending on who you asked.
Yep. So we can see the strength of Pianta here. Bread still finishing up PD, whereas Game is now already in Pianta 2. Um, I think Bread may have fell down during when Moloch picks once, but the general thing is that Pianta is pretty quick, whereas Bianca 2 kind of painful. But as long as you get through it, then it's no longer painful until Bianca 5.
Yeah, and Bianco has been a pretty staple stage in this meta, looking very strong, or at least okay in every card, basically. So if you're a newer player and want to start, well, Bianco is your gateway, quite literally, to the rest of the game. Here now, if you're game, right? What does Pianta play? What do you aim for? Because you can reasonably contest row 1, I feel.
Mhm.
Because if your opponent ends up getting 2 in the red solverless and 15 Bianco, but you do get the advantage with 26 shines, 6 from 2, and Serena 4, that could be a pretty interesting row to snatch, right?
Yeah.
Key here, or at least for that row, would be, will Serena slow you down too much in doing that? Because you want 26 and you want Serena 4. And Serena, well, not the fastest stage ever made, right? So
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird for row 1. Row 1's kind of just awkward in general.
what generally means it's going to end up as the last row being fought over, or the row that decides the match. No in between.
Game now in Piano 3, Bread in Bianco 3. See if Game hits Piano 3 damage list first try, or if he'll just completely forego the goal.
And for which strat? Wait. Yep,
3?
we're going water game.
Oh, nope. We're getting damaged.
And
Yep.
exit area.
Unfortunate.
Well, that
Yeah,
kind of
gotta.
kills the speed delta you gain from Pianta, honestly.
Yep. Now, I think Game should be thinking that it's pretty okay to go for this again, because even if Bread failed it, they would have had it on the second go around. So the game knows that Bread did not start Pianta and can probably safely even delay this goal if they hit it this time.
Now, what is Brett gonna do here? Because Brett's going for 3 reds,
3 red colorless.
but no blues yet. And not even an attempt to get the blues that are convenient to get here, right? It's like the enemy. So
Yeah, I would have liked at least a couple of. At least the enemy. At least the Poke, yeah. Maybe even the NPC over there at the end of the ridge.
yeah, it's like if you're planning. I mean, the thing is, are you planning to do Bianco 5? Because if you're planning to do Bianco 5, there's an easy way to get both NPCs at that point. But
That's true.
um, I don't know if you want to do Bianco 5 on this card, right? It's kind of slow.
Yeah,
No
like
bosses, no rematch, no nothing.
you don't need it for 5 Bianco, but
Yep, was
it's
close.
either you do that or hundreds for
Or
6
one.
from Bianco.
Oh, 6 from. Oh, you want 6 from 2, I guess.
Right? Because if you do 5 out of Bianco, that's already 5 from one level, and then you just need one more for 6 from 2 worlds, which is this is
Yeah,
a world. So
but I'm not sure if you want it because the thing with Bianco is I kind of like that it balances itself, and that getting 6 from Bianco is really rough. And getting
mhm.
5 already doesn't give you a lot of progress in Bianco unless you're doing a a really big investment in Bianco 5. So I think that Bianco start's weakness is that like it leaves you in a bit of an awkward position with 5 from 2 and 6 from 2. Whereas
Yes.
Pianta, adding tacking an extra shine in Pianta is not the worst. Has a lot more benefits than the extra shine in Bianco, at least.
Yeah, game delaying damageless. Um, Bread did not pick up 15 Bianco Blues, so Bread's like, am I just getting super delayed on, or what's going on with these blues?
Yeah, I mean, Brett not doing a lot of blues right now kind of makes sense because if you're racing for say for 5 Bianco, you think you're racing 5 Bianco shines at the start. I don't know why you would think that, but let's say you think you're racing 5 Bianco, you do want to get your blues during
Yeah,
PD, like finish 15 during PD at that point. Uh, so yeah, maybe that's what's on his mind.
video is happening. Yeah, Bread also, picked up a couple Delfino Blues, and then I think maybe had a slightly rough vanilla wall kicks or something, so he's like, I'm just not going to do it. I'll try and counter it with just doing 5 Bianco. All game finishing up count of 4.
And Breadghost became magenta for quite a bit of time.
Oh man, things are happening. Oh, okay, game going to pick up the linked here. Not too bad.
Right, the blues here we didn't mention like not super strong, but also I mean you have to be smart about the blues here. I feel if you're able to make the 15 Bianco 18 Serena into 20 from 2, that could end up being some pretty decent synergy. Problem is that doing that requires you to go deep in both levels, but you need to secure the goals, and that's why I think that the Pianta player needs to go to Serena at some point, because else you're leaving way too much value on the table for the Bianco player.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's also, I would add, value that synergizes well in terms of rows, right? Because 2 in red, Salvador 15 Bianco, Serena 4. That kind of, the row is awkward, but suddenly not anymore. And you have Serena 100s, 20 from 245, right? If you have Serena 4 open, well, that's a much easier 100s for you and much shorter as well.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about Bread just completely ignoring 15 Bianco Blues at this point.
But when Bianco won
Um,
here.
okay, counter for damage list clicked off by game. I feel like even if you don't want Road 1, right, the whole misdirection and diversionary plays and is something to be thought of, especially when you're playing row control, right? Because if you click 15 Bianco Blues, then getting 3 goals in row 1 still sucks for the other player, and if they never do it, then it's something you can eventually pick up. So
Yeah, I know that it's kind of the worst row that we mentioned, but there's ways to make it work. And if you're making that Bianco play, even if your opponent gets 6 from 2 and 26, right? Because you're assuming that you're starting Bianco if your opponent's, you see the Pianta click now, right? So
mhm.
you're assuming that you're gonna be blown like down in shine count for now. And Radio's going Serena here, or is this a DeLorean?
Serena.
Looks like Serena. Yep.
That's a pretty good counterplay. That being said,
Game is going to Rico.
you won't be able to see the result of this counterplay for quite some time. Yeah, Bread going to Rico, maybe to work on some more blues and Rico hidden.
Yeah, free blue trade shines here looking pretty strong. You don't see the 15 blues click. You're gonna be feel like, yeah, maybe I can get that free, right?
Mhm. It's gonna be
Uh,
interesting when Bread clicks 5 Bianco. and then not click 15 Bianca Blues. I wonder what game would think of that. Wonder if he'd be too afraid to try and even bother with going and doing Bianca 2 and then working on 15 Blues in 3 later.
I don't know if you see that happen, your brain goes like cue Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson and like Breadghost, are you okay? Because it's like okay, all right, sure, what's going on here? The
As
thing
for
is,
Bread, I don't necessarily disagree with going to Serena here, but I also feel like if you want to block row 4, then going for 4 from 3 into Pinna would be better, I feel.
yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it might be early for Serena, but I do not disagree with the call of going to Serena. As I said, like I think there's pretty good synergy in Bianco Serena here. Just stages at face value. You would get row 1 if you did the 15 Bianco Blues, that is, and you would get probably a good safe, like good safe row 5. Again, if you did the blues, like that again, if you did the blues is the key part here, right?
Yeah.
Um, the game will get the free shine straight here.
Yep, needs one more blue for 30, and then can trade in for that. Finish up Rico 1 as well. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Bread just also had this option, right, to just rush Rico Hidden and then, do Rico 3 or even hundreds if they really wanted to. And that still sets them up really well for row 5, row 3, and row 4. And row 2 with 5 from 2 there. And you already have 5 Bianco, so.
Right, game doesn't have 5 from any stage yet. It does have 5-4 from Pianta. But I mean, getting Pianta 5 not the fastest shine, admittedly.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, right? If game ends up going to Pinna, we could see a Tried Yoshi in 2 worlds with Pianta
Yeah.
instead of Delfino. Especially with Serena gone, if Brett clicks it, right? It's like, why would I open Yoshi in the plaza at that point? um,
Just gonna do Manta to get yourself at least a foothold in Serena. Okay. That's fine too.
some setting up. Trying to cover all the bases. Or all the rows, I should say.
Yeah.
That's gonna be free blue trade shines. Um,
Yep.
so game
Put them at
looking.
yeah, put them at 9. They can open up Gelato, pick up an easy shine in Gelato or Delfino, get to Pinna. Gelato probably be better for 5 Bluebirds over
Yeah,
in row 2.
the problem I have with Breadghost strategy is that I mean you will be kind of forced into doing Sirena early now, because if your opponent gets 5 bluebirds and then gets 5 chance from 2 levels,
Mhm.
you've given up a row very quickly for no reason.
Yeah.
So you are forced to do 5 from 2 immediately. And at that point, as awkward as it might seem, it would be better to do Bluebirds into Gelato 1 just to get the head start on the Sandbird Blues, I feel.
Alright, because like Noki is like almost non-existent on this card.
You just want the rockets. You just want the
You do
rocket.
have rockets and like 26 shines, but other than that, it's not great. Aside from that, and eel blues, like cool eel blues. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, Eel Blues are kind of awkward. There's no incentive for like a 4 from 3. You're not gonna go to Noki here. There's no red, so maybe Noki 3. No. Noki 2 is a fast shine. I'll give you that. So if you complete Noki 1 with the rocket and you're racing 26, Noki 2, pretty decent choice.
Yeah.
But outside of that, yep, not very great, I would say.
So Bread basically just came in straight for the secret. Game coming in, gonna pick up the hidden and birds. It looks like.
Yeah, Brad looking at the two hidden red Silverless here, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that it will complete that and then secure 3 extra blues to get to Pinna if they are even interested. I'm not sure if your Bread goes here and you want to go to. Do you want to get to Pinna? Right, because
Uh, hmm.
At least if you commit Serena. If you commit Serena, there's no reason to go to Pinna.
If he commits row 3 and row 4, I would say no. There's no reason. But that would be a 6 pipes, 4 from 3, and 50 yellow coins in row 4, which would be kind of weird, so.
I'm not sure I agree with the weirdness of it. There's, I don't know, I think 50 from Serena is kind of undervalued. You have 18 Serena Blues, right? Picking up 50, or even during the hundreds, right? It's not that bad. I think Serena 400s with the Blues has a lot of value here. I don't know. I think there's merit. The more I think about the Bianco Serena play, the more I think it's the right way to go. Either the Bianco or the Pianta play into Serena. Serena early in this card, looking not too shabby, I say.
Okay. If I Bianco clicked off, game got the birds and light hidden and is now gonna go grab the Delfino birds. Red taking a little bit of a detour to pick up the birds and the hidden. See if they jump back in for Gelato 1R hoverless. I believe game picked up the other bird earlier
Yes.
once they left Penna, or Pianta, excuse me, so that's
Can
done
confirm.
already.
The problem for game is how do you shut down row 2, right? Because you need the 5 from 2. Breadghost could even be looking at the 5 from Gelato play here. Not sure if that's better than 5 from Serena. I would argue that's decidedly worse. But it is a play that is doable.
Maybe even 5 from Penna into Piana 5 is not terrible for game. Like, you don't win it if Red straight rushes 5 from 2, but also Red rushing straight 5 from 2 would not set him up too well for some things here.
Yeah, unless it's 5 from 2
Oh.
from Serena again, but that, I mean,
That's pretty long as well, so yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Especially if you
Kind
want,
of time.
if you do want all of the synergy, right? Serena requires 6 shines because you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 reds, hundreds. Right,
2
that's
R
6.
if you wanted 2 H1L, so that'd be another shine there.
Yeah, 7. So, but that's a lot of time, right? The thing is, Breadghost already has the luxury of having invested the time in Bianco. So, yeah, you need the 6 shine in Bianco. That's the key issue there.
Fall.
Breadghost having a bit of a fun time here.
Yeah, this shrine can be a little bit tricky, hoverless, if you don't get some good side flip and spin jump inputs that you want.
Yeah, also, a stage that's deceptively hard if you don't practice it, right? It's kind of like, yeah, whatever, it's Shadow 1 reds, right? It should be easy. But if you don't practice it, everything is not going to be too great, right? So...
Game picking up the links, I believe at best he had 3 before this, and he's missing that one. I don't think he actually has more than 2 though entering Penna.
Game did collect the Delfino. The game did collect the Rico one and the Pianta one for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if he picked up Delfino. If he picked up Delfino, he'd have 3, but he definitely didn't pick up the Gelato one or Bianco since he never entered Bianco, so you'd be able to get to 6 with this at the most, 5 otherwise. Breadghost opening or entering Gelato 2.
So yeah, I think you're gonna be looking at a 5 from 2 play with Gelato here. There's no other reason to enter 2 here. What I would also kind of like to see here, it was a 50 from here, or maybe from 3 even.
Yeah, I'd also like... I don't know. Blues, I mean, 20 from 2 would be a nice steal if you're Bread, but you also haven't been picking up Blues, period, so...
Yeah, but maybe you're not really interested in row 5 beyond... I mean, if you're going Bianco Gelato, Serena Rico hundreds are kind of both awkward, but also they both have the benefit of being doable in the first episode, so you can still kind of race it if it comes
true.
like you need it, but you also don't really need to make them part of your idea, part of your map to win the game, basically.
Yeah, Bread also has this interesting 3 rockets play where he can just finish out Sandbird and then jump into Gelato 5 to pick up the rocket there.
That's 45 for game here. So
Sounds
game,
correct.
yeah, game is kind of like, I think game is setting up a lot, right? So not really eyeing any row in particular, but
Mhm.
setting up for a lot of things, a lot of ways the game could possibly go. Which I feel at this point is a bit late to do. Because, I mean, in my experience, row control is about forming a plan and then executing this plan, trying to react to your opponent a bit, but the idea is you get a plan done, right? If you're still setting up 30 minutes in the game, I don't know, man. I feel like you're kind of a bit late in setting up. So,
I don't
unnecessarily
know if it's
critique.
even necessarily set up, but I mean, it's still shines still need to be done regardless. So
Well, that is absolutely fair, but I mean, like, I don't know. I feel obviously I might be wrong here, but I feel like game is trying to put too few eggs in too many baskets, if you know what I mean. Right? You need 3 rows, 3 goals in each row to win, and sometimes players do make the mistake of focusing too much on trying to play like it's lockout, basically. So like you need to set up for most goals.
I still would have liked if Game and Bread actually went and did Rico Hidden. Frankly, it's a lot of plays cute and all, but eh. And then Game, I mean, Game is in a better position than Bread is right now. Um, which Game is going back to Rico, and then for Game now, Rico Hidden into Serena would be really strong.
Right. Because that's the point, right? Then you see the focus. This card I feel kind of is saying, is screaming at you, just pick 2 or 3 levels and focus these levels. Don't go around too much. And if we're gonna see that, well, 100% appreciate that. So Rico Eden is a great start. It synergizes decently well with Serena. Um, Wait, when is the Serena linked gonna be unlocked?
7.
7, right? It was way
Yeah.
too late. It was,
Probably just jumping into Bianca would be faster than anything.
yeah, finishing the Delfino one for that.
Um, Game does have this weird potential win con with just row 3, 4, and 5. Right? With this, like, basically only Rico and Serena.
Yeah,
You do need to finish out 4 from 3, though, with...
I mean,
Probably don't
Pianta's
even need
already
to finish...
4.
Yeah,
Pianta
probably don't
already.
even need to finish Pinna for 4 from 3. It might be safe, but you probably actually don't need to. Depending on what Breadghost does, of course.
Yeah.
Bread finishing up 5 from 2, right? It has Sandbird Blues in the back pocket, so that's going to just sit for a while until Bread needs to confirm the row.
Yeah, but now it's opening up Rico, and I think now that the Gelato play is gonna catch up with Breadghost, because yeah, that's good. You got a row, all but secured, but yeah, but now you kind of for the entire rest of the board. So,
Yeah, I would like it if Bread did Rico Hidden into 7 links into Serena, I feel.
but I think
Because
game is gonna do that.
or a game, sorry, not Bread. Bread should just probably go back to Serena, period, at this point. Um, and maybe try and block 6 pipes if you can. Since you're not picking up blues, like at all.
Yeah, you do have to pick. You either block blues or block Serena, and Serena is a decidedly better choice here. I feel it gives way more opportunity to the players. Um, Blues is kind of, especially with game having already gotten a bit of value out of it. It's even worse now. So
Right, because like if game gets one Rico Hidden in 7 links, then he has 70 links and 18 Serena in his back pocket for
yeah,
some time. So Bread would need to get to Serena 4 to block that. Um, Game only needs to do Rico 3 and then can go to Serena or Penna, I guess, for 4 from 3. Penna is also fine because then you work on Brad Yoshi in 2 worlds. And then you just scrap Serena, I suppose.
Yeah, there's
Um,
definitely different ways you can win on this card, but
Row 5 is going to become fairly important here.
yeah, what I do not understand is the reason why I said this is why was game in Pinna? The bird? Oh yeah, I guess you
The
you want
bird.
you want to finish the shine at that point even
Yeah, I
because
mean,
of the length,
bird,
right?
links, 45 totals, and then just finish Pinna 1 at that point since you're already there. It's just a boss fight away. Sure, it sucks, but it gets you access
Yeah,
towards
it's not that
Yoshi.
slow. It's not that slow even, so it's fine. I was a bit confused because I was like, why are you finishing the shine? I was getting a bit of that Bry guy exit area energy, you know what I mean? um, maybe I would have
Okay.
done it if I wasn't just exit area at that point.
Oh,
You don't need
okay.
Pinna.
Game going to Gelato. This is just for the
For
linked. I would not
linked on some blues, I guess.
too happy because it'd just be better to do Bianco at that point. Unless he really wants to try and contest Sandbird here, which would make Bread cry if Bread doesn't go back for Sandbird and game just
Yeah,
hard commits it.
the problem is Breadghost will still do stuff in the meantime, and we've seen firsthand now how slow Gelato is. So
Yeah.
game is effectively committing 10 minutes just to contest one row. Maybe not 10 minutes, but like 6 or 7 minutes. That's a lot of time, right? Because it's not gaining you anything else. Straight up nothing.
Looks like he's just going straight for this linked here. Okay, that should be 7 links for gamestabled, and
Want to
looks like a
finish the want
gelato.
to finish
Yeah,
one, yeah.
want to finish gelato 1. It is a fast shine at least, so
26 on the board makes sense.
oh no,
No,
he is going to exit
not
area.
even.
I think he also now is looking at the board and go, 2 intermits harborless, and he has 5 from 2. That probably is Bianco and Gelato.
Yep, so trying to finish pipes here. Or at least like getting progress in pipes.
Yep. Delfino pipe. Let's put him up to 5 pipes. Can go do Manta, Lily Pad, Tall Grass. Go back to Pianta.
Yeah, go back to Pianta here. It's not the worst option. Um,
I would have liked it if game finished Rico 3 though. For 4 from 3.
yeah. Also, Rico free. Like if you do 2-1 level, 6 from 2 worlds with 6 from Pianta, that's also great synergy, right? Rico Pianta very fast levels, 26 shines, 15
Yeah.
Bianco Blues still open.
Going
Yeah,
back for it now.
you see where I'm going here, right? Like row 1 is not lost. But it looks like we're gonna see it now.
Oh,
What's Bread?
Bread
What's Bread
taking
doing?
a
Rico
dip there. I
hundreds?
think he wanted the rocket at least, but
Yeah, I guess.
jump dive in the wrong angle.
Yep. I mean,
Uh,
could be interesting if Breadghost gets cute and gets like 50 coins here.
oh,
Like
game never
not.
got the Rico linked. Interesting. He got half of it.
Oh yeah, I assumed he got the other half as well, but hey, apparently not.
Okay. Well, there's that. So 7 links. Now done. First rocket. No, second rocket of the game for Bread. To game's 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, game just gonna not even bother with that. So yeah, finishing up that. So now has 4 from 2, where Bread also has 4 from 2, and is actually only 1 shine away. Um, for 4 from 3. That's actually pretty good, yeah, for
And
Bread.
doing Rico could answer the conundrum because obviously Bianco 5, as was mentioned, like 6 from Bianco, not great. You have to do PD to beat the PD in Bianco 5 for no reason.
Yeah,
6 from
either that or
Rico though,
Sandbird.
yeah, you get value. You get the 2-1 level, right?
Yep.
So, and then you can finish 6 from Gelato with Sandbird, right? For your third rocket, you can do the 4 Sandbird Blues, finish the bird. So, well, there's your 6 from 2, right?
Yeah, and then
Works out.
go back to Bianco, I guess, at some point for 15 from Bianco.
Which at that point should be pretty easy. I mean, you do have about 23 to choose from at that point.
Oh, I'm just still. I mean, it's working out for Bread now, but I'm also just still laughing a bit of not doing the Bianca Blues earlier. 4 from 3 clicks from
Still,
Bread, so definitely
I
some
will
delay
defend.
on the
I
video.
will defend the deception here from Breadghost because if you're game like, what the fuck is going on with this Bianca Blues? I don't want them, but what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean?
So yeah,
It's not really something you would expect. Now, game getting 50 here.
yep, 50 from 1 at least. So
Pretty cool.
good call. Gonna do count to 5. This is his 6th pipe. And then can go to Serena hundreds, Rico hundreds. Pick, 50 out of the 100 there. That's 50 from 2. You get another 100. All right, your 20 from 2 progress is kind of all over the place. You haven't touched rockets, so he's
Yeah.
got to probably pick up 100s for row 5.
On the bright side, you can literally pick and choose which stage you want to finish your hundreds, your 20 from 2 in.
Yes.
Because you have about 10, 15 blues in every stage. You can just decide, well, what stage is going to be convenient for me at the moment? Let's go in there and finish it.
Yep,
Damn, Rico, like 6 from Rico's pretty fast. Like it doesn't feel like a long time ago when Brett entered Rico. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going fast here.
Okay. 6 pipes clicked off for gamestabled. So ahead to row 4. Serena's still looking pretty juicy, though it's not necessary for game since he has a blues lead. He can just pick up 70 totals.
Yeah, I think
if he doesn't
Serena here
if he
suffering a bit
doesn't
from the Serena is low, so it's never good syndrome. Where I feel like Serena here was a very strong call, even early in the game.
actually Serena just wins him the game.
Yeah,
18 Serena, 50 from 2, Serena hundreds, 20 from 2.
yeah. Even now, you get what I mean. If he's strong now, imagine before when 6 pipes was up. You know, like I don't know. It's obviously you can never cut out the psychological element from the game, right? Everybody will always be thinking in terms of the meta, but sometimes I feel like trying to distance yourself a bit from it will help because sometimes it kind of blinds you, right? You know, like you just think, this is
Eureka
bad.
hundreds.
This is bad. It'll always be bad. Not necessarily, right?
Yeah. So game entered 4, but I still hope he does Rico hundreds anyways. And not only just 50 from here.
Yeah, it would be kind of weird to just do.
Almost saved it off the train.
It would be kind of weird to just do 50 here, honestly, when hundreds is up.
Oh, he's gonna get destroyed. Yep. Wind spirits, man, they're evil.
Is this the I give up, I'll do 50? I think that is. I might be wrong, though.
And this is 2H1L for bread, and then has 6 from here. Okay, 50
That's
clicked
50.
off, so row 4 claimed. And it's the first row claimed by game, making it a 1-0 game. Or match thus far.
I was about to say, is that okay? This is not a give up from hundreds. Game definitely still going
Okay,
for it.
he just modifying the route to go for 50 first since he got knocked down.
I understand. It's a bit of a impromptu, on the fly sort of thing, but
Ooh. Okay, Bread entering episode 5. Okay.
and I think
I
that
think
was
he
a
just
mistake.
accidentally entered. I was gonna say if he's trying to do like hundreds now, he in a world of pain.
Hundreds and 5 kind of hype. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, just an accidental
First rocket.
re-enter. First rocket for game.
Not gonna be very useful, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The thing with Bread. Is it now game has 2 rows kind of
Ooh.
secured, right?
It's a few coins you're going to be missing.
You can still get back up with the rocket. I mean, not if you're going that way.
Okay, just gonna ignore those. So Brad traded in, and he's thinking. Doesn't know if he wants to run or gelato. I think he's gonna pick gelato.
I think it's just gonna
Nope,
okay
each shine.
get a little Pheno shine, but now would be a good moment to just secure gelato. I feel, right? Because you've done you want that 6 from 2 to kind of get a good take a good claim to row 1.
Yeah.
You want to secure your row because right now we're starting to get to territory where your opponent might be looking at Noki, right?
Okay,
I know
that
it's
was for
not
20 shines, so he can go pick up his third rocket.
okay. That's also good. Um, but yeah, I think
Still
you
needs to
kind of
open.
want to. I think you kind of want to finish Gelato at some point because I mean it's true that
Yeah.
Noki Eel Blue's not great, right? But it's also true that your opponent, if your opponent steals it, they get the row, and your entire plan kind of falls apart.
Brad has like 5 options and he doesn't know which one to pick. Alright, he doesn't even need Noki because he can just get a third rocket in Gelato after Gelato 4. Which, granted, Gelato 4 is slow, but it still gets you 6 from 2.
I think this
But
is 15
yeah,
blues.
now gonna make a call for 15 blues in Bianca, which is fair enough. He is in the lead for 26 shines, right? So he could win row 1 and 2, and then it's just like needs to somehow win row 3 and row 3/5, which row 3 is off the table, and row 5 you're kind of stuck doing it's around 120 from 2 and 3 rockets, so
Yeah, not ideal, definitely. Game is putting a serious claim on this match. Then
yeah.
again, we have seen comebacks, so the game's not over yet, most definitely.
Okay. Yeah, game's also like 13 or so blues away from 70 totals.
Okay, going to Pianta right now. This is a finish
Pianta,
20 from 2 move.
yeah, 20 from
Finish 6 from
2
2.
and 70 totals. Maybe.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know if he
Pianta
can
stick.
get 13 here, but he should be able to get quite close.
Yeah, then you can just like enter whichever stage and enter Pinna, right? Do Pinna 2 blue. I don't know, you
Yeah,
know what I mean.
I'm sure there's like something in Delfino he could pick up as well for like a blue or two. Game has 12 here, so he needs 8 more.
That is 14 blues for Breadghost. See, this is where getting the enemy, you know.
Yeah, that enemy would have helped earlier.
Yep.
Yep, you're in 4. You guys not there. Yeah, unfortunately, I think blues, just completely avoiding blues is kind of costing Bread. I mean, there's a multitude of other things that you could say that costed Bread in the long run, but in my opinion, blues is definitely one of the major ones. I think he should not have had to come back to Bianca to finish this up, especially if he's not going to do 6 from 2 here.
Yeah, if you don't, yeah, you don't, you do want the 20 from 2. Like you do have to recognize at this point that if you do not, I mean, it's gonna be off now, but you want to at least try to get it because it's the game, right? You cannot count the 70, so that's the game. You're ahead to Rockets, Serena hundreds. You know it's a race. You doing both have to do Serena 1. At least
Okay,
there's a chance you can win it.
back to Rico. A game, I imagine, has 20 in Rico already by now.
Yeah,
I'd have to assume so.
game Z menu did that 21. So
Okay, so yeah, these last NPCs will be 20 from 2, and then just needs to pick up a few more. Um, ultimately, yeah, just kind of not blocking blues and Serena. I mean, Serena ended up not mattering for either player, I guess, but the gelato time spent kind of hurt.
Yeah, it's just picking
It's
Gelato as
just
a slow
hard.
stage with some value when there was another slow stage with much better value on the card was just a questionable call overall, I feel.
Right, like he could have gone to Rico first and then blocked Rico hidden, and then he'd be at least gonna be in a better position
Yeah,
as
or if you
Bread.
want to spend all the time in one stage, Serena. I mean,
Yeah, Serena also would have been nice to hopefully block out row 4 a little bit better, and you get a better hundreds to do. Yeah. So after all this game, gonna go back to Gelato and pick up just 5 blues that he has not picked up yet.
when the wall kicks here.
Yeah. Game like ended up doing Pinna 1 for no value at the end. Bread also did Serena 1 early in the match for basically no value since he never went back to Serena.
Right, in a way that's slightly more infuriating as well because it's like you already got rid of the worst part of Serena,
Um,
if you know what I mean, right? It's kind of
yeah, I think
unfortunate
Bread
there.
needed to realize that, as mentioned in chat, if Bread did Rico hundreds prior to 2H1L, he'd be in a solid spot to win if he just like rushed Serena hundreds right after or something like that and like split it with 2H1L. But there are 70 totals. It is a 3-0 in game stable's favor, taking match 1 of the set. See if our
Yeah, we
players
already
want to
have
get
Breadghost in
interviewed,
here.
which we already have Breadghost. Welcome Breadghost, GG's on the match.
GG. Not for me though. So
It was a GG, in
I
my opinion.
hate
Just
I I absolutely hate row control, dude. It's like
welcome game
the
stable,
worst form of
also known non rule control liker. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you. GG.
Um,
GG.
Yeah, kind of a overall tough card with some open-ended options, right? Starting Pianta, starting Bianco, even questionably starting Rico is not terrible. Serena on this card actually has some hidden potential. Um, so walk us through your starts.
Uh I wanted to fight Bianco, so I did fight Bianco. I didn't really want blues like at all. I just wanted to find a way to win without them, but clearly they were too strong. So yeah, I did fight Bianco, and then I was like, I should probably try to do 2 hits from 1 in Serena since there's value there. But then halfway through Manta, I'm like, this is stupid. So I finished Manta, went to Gelato, and by that time I was like, I'm so behind the pin. I'm just gonna tank in Gelato and hold row 2 ransom, hopefully win to everything else. And it didn't work. So
Yeah, I kind of just felt the vibes reading the card that if I sort of did Pianta and Rico with blues, I would kind of just have everything open to me. Like, um, I don't know, like I just kind of felt like I had the blues lead and the shine lead, which felt pretty good for most things. Like I feel like I could have won row 1 even though I have no goals there. I don't know if how close Breadghost is to 6 from 2.
one shine,
Uh,
Uh,
one shine in
one
Gelato.
gelato, and had the shine lead.
Oh, okay.
It
So you're
wasn't
saying
much. It was
5
like
from
two
2
Delfino
was
shines.
gelato?
What?
Yes.
5 from 2 was Gelato, yeah, Gelato Bianco. So
Interesting.
I would have definitely won row 2s. I doubted you were going to Gelato after seeing Pianta stuff and blues. So I was just like, I couldn't make a decision on what I really needed to do. So I went to Rico, tried to do Rico hidden, got beaten to that. And then I was like, I just tanked in Rico for a bit because I thought maybe you wanted 2 hiddens in one. Um,
right, no, but there's a universe here in which Breadghost wins with row 1, 2, and 5.
yeah, if I had done Rico 100, I think I would have had a chance.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
but I decided that I needed to block two ends in one level for whatever reason instead.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's understandable.
Yeah, it's understandable. As you mentioned, like you didn't mention you do not like row control, and that's a very row control mindset thing to do, right? You see a row that is 2 goals plus 1 for your opponent. That's kind of given like 70 totals. You don't need to heal at that point. You don't need to hit into one level because the row is already gone. And if you don't have the row control mindset, right, you can get kind of sidetracked with that, and well, that can end up costing you, which I can understand. It's not an easy format to be able to play. There's a reason we have row control specialists. Hello, PK. So yeah, it is tough if you're not don't have the experience in the format or don't like it. Can be pretty rough. Now, I have 2 questions, one for Bread and one for Game. I'll start with Game because it's a simpler one, I guess. Um, when you did Pinna, right? You did mostly extra stuff in Pinna. So you mostly did blues, links, right? That's about the only reasons why you were there.
Yeah.
Then you decided to do the boss, and I can understand now the idea of, okay, I wanted to have the shine lead, right? I guess again, this is a bit more of a row control mindset thing, and I know you were. It's not a bad call to do the boss at all. I was getting major exit area vibes at that point, just because you don't really need it, right? You clearly had a plan to do row 4 without Red Ocean 2 Worlds, and then pin is kind of useless, anyways. So that's the only really like nitpicky thing I can just say I would have done differently, but overall it was a pretty solid route. So I wanted to ask you if it came into your mind, because then after that you went to Gelato, got the link, and then exited area as well.
Yeah,
So I
it
was
was kind of during that boss fight, and then because I actually opened up the secret in Gelato before exiting area.
yeah
It was during all that downtime that I kind of realized, like, oh, I can sort of win off of just blues from this point.
yeah, it's understandable, right? So the game plan was very solid. It's just obviously, yeah, I guess if the next step would be like realizing it kind of like 5-10 minutes earlier, but it was still a very solid game, so no complaints on that side. Now, for Bread, if you rewatch the match, you'll see me at some point being like, why didn't you go to Serena? Because you already got rid of the worst part of it, which is Manta, right? And I didn't realize you did Manta and you thought it was stupid. I thought it was a really good call to do Bianco into Serena on this card because it's so good. You get a ton of value. You get an easy 6 from 2. I mean, Bianco's kind of awkward for 6 from 2, but you can make it work. You get Serena 4 hidden. You can do 2 hidden red solverless with Serena 2 if you want to.
I don't know how to do that, so I did not feel comfortable doing that.
Then I can understand that. It's just like you do have a lot of good reasons to go into Serena. Your opponent did Pianta free damageless, right? So after 5 Bianco, if you go Serena, you counter that perfectly because you get the pipes. You can even get Serena hundreds and a 50 coin in Serena 4 while you get the blues. You know, in my opinion, there was a ton of synergy in Serena, especially with 15
Yeah.
Bianco blues, 18 Serena blues, 20 from 2, right? It's kind of, I know you didn't want to do blues, and at that point, that part of the play is kind of lost. But I felt like there was all the potential there, so I kind of wanted to ask you why you felt there wasn't, right? Why you felt
Okay,
like it was stupid.
so here's the thing: is that everything you just mentioned is stuff I thought about, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I was like, I think what happened was, first of all, I prioritized two hidden res hoverless too much, and
Hmm.
second of all, I thought I needed the shine lever 26 shines because of that. I thought I needed row 1, and I don't know, because of that, I thought I shouldn't do Serena because of those things. I saw the
Okay.
big picture, I just didn't go for it because I suck at row control. So
All right, I understand. It's still a good thing that you mentioned. I saw the big picture, right? Because then it means that it's not like you don't have the capabilities to routing row control. It's just getting used to it, right? It's just getting the mindset. I know you don't like it, and if you come back for next season, and I mean, you're not going to play row control in the next matchup, but if you come back in the next season or in the next matchup, if you end up winning the series, which is still a very concrete possibility, it's row control is a format that you probably will have to get accustomed to in a way or another. So you have a decent starting point though, so that's pretty good. And after that, I think I've spoken for too long, so we can all go to sleep.
Yeah. I don't really have much to say. I mean, I liked Games Route. There's a handful of things I would have changed. As far as bread goes, I think you shouldn't have written off 15 Bianca Blues so early, especially with Counter 3 damage lists. I think, and wanting 5 Bianco anyways, I think you should have just picked up the Blues slowly and surely. And that would have been fine instead of having to come back for it later. And then, um, aside from the potential Serena play, I think you would have been in a better position had you done 5 from Rico instead of Gelato. Because you get Rico hidden, right? It still sets you up really nicely for 5 from 2, 6 from 2, 2 hiddens 1 level. Rico 4 kind of sucks doing it hoverless, but you still have the option of doing it with the rocket, so it's not terrible. You have a good option for Rico hundreds, things like that. But the Gelato play was cute and I liked it. It just didn't end up working out because of not getting Rico hundreds towards the end game and a couple of other choices. Just my personal opinion, but I think we are done. So congratulations to Game winning 3-0 in match 1. Coming up next, we have
Schmidt versus Vipa.
Yeah, Schmidt versus Vipa in draft, and that is in about 30 minutes. So please stay tuned. Thanks everyone for watching.